Good morning, USA. This is your host, Mr. Nick. Anyways, grab a coffee, and this is a kind of a super late, very super short edition for Labor Day. By the way, all happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, Deplorable Rob. Happy Labor Day, Steve Eagle. Happy Labor Day, Carrie Love, Edward Black, and all the rest of my subscribers. You guys all rock. Grab that job and sit with me a spell. Anyway, so top news of the day: Trump National Security Advisor. He gives warning in hope to avoid total annihilation of North Korea. South Korea simulates attack on North's nuke site after test. And then Trump denounced North Korea nuke test. They only understand one thing. We'll jump right into, we're going to go into the Trump denounces. Hope you guys enjoyed the new lighting. I'm working hard at trying to provide you the best in early AM programming. Let's see here, what can I do? So anyway, this is from the Washington Times, and if I can get the ads out of my way, I'll be all set. Trump denounces North Korea nuke test. They only understand one thing. President Trump said Sunday on Twitter that North Korea has become a great threat and embarrassment to China after the secretive totalitarian nation announced it had detonated a hydrogen bomb and declared the test a perfect success. One thing we all know about Kim Jong-un, he is a crazy little fat bastard. Now I say that, yeah, I did. You can't let a person that insane go unchecked. Whether you agree that he did test a missile or not, you just can't let them go unchecked, or their behaviors go unchecked. Now, with that being said, I don't believe we need to be starting or creating or be in any wars all over the world. We have our places that may need our protection, may need it for a long time. And maybe we're welcome there, maybe we're not, but those are things to explore. I look forward to your robust conversations in the comment section. And let's get on with it here. So anyway, it was the sixth underground bomb tested since 2006 at North Korea's state-run TV, and it was the rogue nation's latest act of defiance in pursuit of nuclear weapons and long-range missiles aimed at threatening the U.S. And what do you know? We're not hearing a whole lot of Iran and their nuclear capability. I'm sure they're up to something. But who might have thought that North Korea were up to, no good nefarious plans? I believe they are up to some sort of nefarious plans over there in North Korea, which we'll never know about, or just plain evil. I mean, as far as the regime goes. And sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. That's going to be quite a challenge, uphill battle there. So anyway, Mr. Trump has been increasing pressure on China, the top patron of North Korea, to curb the country's threatening behavior. North Korea has conducted a major nuclear test. Their words and actions continue to be very hostile and dangerous to the United States, Mr. Trump, President Trump, and I'm putting that in. These people should know better than to call him Mr. Trump. He is President Trump, and they need to refer to him as such. Washington Times, whoever wrote this, you need to refer to our president as President of the United States. President Trump. Not Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump is for an average person you meet on the street. President Trump, or Mr. Trump, you call his kids that. his adult kids. You call them male kids. You call them Mr. Trump. You don't call the President of the United States Mr. You call them President Trump or President of the United States. That's what they are. Okay, so President Trump wrote in a series of posts on Twitter, North Korea is a rogue nation which has become a great threat and embarrassment to China, which is trying to help but with little success. He also prodded the new president of South Korea against an attempt to accommodate North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. South Korea's finding is, I have told them that their talk of appeasement with North Korea will not work. It will not work. North Korea only understands one thing, President Trump wrote. The North Korea blast was strong enough to cause earthquakes in the region. The U.S. Geological Survey said a 6.3 magnitude earthquake was detected at 12.36 p.m. Sunday near North Korea's known nuclear test site in Porguri in the country's northeast region. It had a depth of 14.3 miles. The artificial quake was 9.8 times as powerful as the North's previous test in September 2016. South Korea's state weather agency said that 5.3 magnitude earthquake was about as powerful as the bomb the United States dropped on Hiroshima, Japan in 1945, which was the equivalent of 15,000 tons of TNT. Whether you agree with whether he has nukes or not, whatever, I'm simply trying to bring this news to you. Not saying I agree totally with it, but I do, again, look forward to your robust conversations in the comment section. Please refrain from any just, any fluff talk. I don't want to hear the fluff talk, about if you're opposed to President Trump. I don't want to hear any fluff talk about garbage and that sort of thing. What I don't want to hear especially is just the constant hate comments. But I do look forward to robust conversations in the comment section. I always like to hear what you have to say, and by my example, you've seen me, how quick I can sometimes respond to your comments. I can't always be that quick, but I try to get to them within about 5 to 15 minutes of receiving a notification from your comment. And as the channel grows, it might be something a little different. You might have to wait a little while longer. I don't expect a huge growth, but I expect maybe a substantial growth. Anyway, so in September 2016, South Korea's state weather agency said the 5.3 magnitude earthquake was about as powerful as the bomb the United States dropped in Hiroshima, Japan in 1945, which was the equivalent of 15,000 tons of TNT. Sunday's earthquake was felt in northern China in Yanji, near the North Korean border, according to local media. China's earthquake administration said it had detected a second tremor just after the first 4.6 magnitude, which it termed as a collapse. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said the National Security Team is closely monitoring the situation. The President and his National Security Team will have a meeting to discuss further later today, she said. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called emergency meetings of their national security councils after the test, which is outlawed by UN sanctions. This article is based in part on wire service reports. Okay. Copyright 2017, Washington Times, LLC. We thank the Washington Times, and again, this is not from the Washington Compost. It is from the Washington Times, who Mark Dice has essentially endorsed. Not officially endorsed, but verbally said they were decent, fairly decent, okay. So let us go back to another article here. We'll get going on this, and okay. So I'm going to jump right in here to the second article, and this will be it for Labor Day. We'll jump into the other news for Tuesday, September. What is it? Tuesday, September 5th. We'll jump into that news and a later broadcast for Tuesday. Hang on here a minute, guys. Grab yourself your coffee. And I hope you guys enjoy the new lighting. It's working pretty good for me. Okay, so anyway, this article is again from the Washington Times. South Korea simulates attack on North Korea's North's nuke site after test. Seoul, South Korea, following U.S. warnings to North Korea of a massive military response. South Korea on Monday fired missiles into the sea to simulate an attack on the North's main nuclear test site, a day after Pyongyang detonated its largest ever nuclear test explosion. South Korea's defense ministry also said Monday that North Korea appeared to be planning a future missile launch, possibly of an ICBM, to show off its claimed ability to target the United States with nuclear weapons, though it was unclear when this might happen. Okay, so the heated words from the United States and the military maneuvers in South Korea are becoming familiar responses to North Korea's rapid, as yet unchecked pursuit of a viable arsenal of nuclear-tipped missiles that can strike the United States. The most recent and perhaps the most dramatic advancement came Sunday in an underground test of what leader Kim Jong-un, his government, claimed was a hydrogen bomb, North's sixth nuclear test since 2006. And what are they doing nuclear tests for if they're so isolated anyway? What do they have to worry about? That would be my question to them. And y'all keep in mind the person who was arrested and came back to the United States in dire health, and I think he essentially died as he got back to the United States. I'm not firm. I cannot confirm that, but I think that was in a previous news article or video of someone else's. So at any rate, by Chang Kyung-soo, an official with South Korea's defense ministry, told lawmakers that Seoul was seeing preparations in the North for an ICBM test, but didn't provide details about how officials had reached that assessment. Chang also said the yield from the latest nuclear detonation appeared to be about 50 kilotons, which would mark a significant increase from North Korea's past nuclear test. In a series of tweets, President Donald Trump threatened to halt all trade with countries doing business with the North, a veiled warning to China, and faulted South Korea for what he called talk of appeasement. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman, Geng Shuang, told reporters in Beijing on Monday that China regarded as unacceptable a situation in which, on the one hand, we work to resolve the issues peacefully, but on the other hand, our own interests are subject to sanctions and jeopardized. This is neither objective nor fair. Well, then China's got a job to do. They've got to somehow work to keep North Korea from this extreme behavior. South Korea's military said its live fire exercise was meant to strongly warn Pyongyang. The drill involved F-15 fighter jets and the country's land-based Hyunmoo ballistic missiles firing into the Sea of Japan. The largest was the target was set considering the distance of the North's test site, and the exercise was aimed at practicing precision strikes and cutting off reinforcements, Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff said. Each new North Korean missile and nuclear test gives Pyongyang scientists invaluable information that allows big jumps in capacity. North Korea is thought to have a growing arsenal of nuclear bombs and has spent decades trying to perfect a multi-stage, long-range missile to eventually carry smaller versions of those bombs. Both diplomacy and severe sanctions have failed to check North's decades-long march to nuclear mastery. In Washington, Trump asked a reporter if he would attack the North. In Washington, Trump, asked by a reporter if he would attack the North, said, "We'll see." No U.S. military action appeared imminent, and the immediate focus appeared to be on ratcheting up economic penalties, which have had little effect thus far. In brief remarks after a White House meeting with President Trump and other national security officials, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis told reporters that America does not seek the total annihilation of the North, but then added somberly, "We have many options to do so." And so, just so they know, Mattis said the U.S. will answer any threat from the North with a massive military response, a response both effective and overwhelming. Mattis also said the international community is unified, demanding the denuclearization of the North Korean peninsula, and that Kim should know Washington's commitment to Japan and South Korea is unshakable. The precise strength of the North's underground nuclear expression has yet to be determined. South Korea's weather agency said the artificial earthquake caused by the explosion was 5 times to 6 times stronger than tremors generated by the North's previous 5 tests. Sunday's detonation builds on recent North Korea's advances that include test launches in July. 2 ICM the North says its missile development is part of a defensive effort to build a viable nuclear deterrent that can target U.S. cities. Why? Why are they so afraid of the United States? Yeah, we're big, but we don't, I know one reason. We've got to go back to being that sleeping giant. That stands for the beacon of freedom. We won't disturb you, we won't touch you unless you threaten to touch us. But North Korea should know that by now. I mean, at this point. However, we've had some prior leaders in the presidential office, in Congress, in the Senate, National Senate, that they constantly believe that, war is the answer for everything. War is the answer for everything. And by the way, you need to do some research on Senator John McCain, Chuck Schumer, Cucky, Schumshitter, as well as good old Paul Ryan, our rhino, one of our many rhinos in Congress. And my friends, what I would recommend is if you get any donation requests from the Republican, the RNC committee or anything, don't do it unless you go through, Donald Trump. Just go through President Trump's, I get these messages from President Trump or the White House, and I'll always try to do a little bit with that. I don't, however, do the RNC thing. I will do their surveys because that's extensive and it needs to be done. But I won't financially support the RNC until they come full circle and support Mr. President Trump. He will be president, and if I have anything to say about it, if many of us have anything to say about it, he will be around for 8 years in that office or more. Okay, so anyway, Kim rose to power following his father's death in late 2011. The North followed its 2 tests of Hwasong 14 ICBMs, which, when perfected, could target large parts of the United States by threatening to launch a salvo of its Hwasong 12 intermediate-range missiles toward the U.S. Pacific Island territory of Guam in August. It flew a Hwasong 12 over northern Japan last week, the first such overflight by a missile capable of carrying nukes in a launch. Kim described it as a meaningful prelude to containing Guam, the home of major U.S. military facilities, and vowed to launch more ballistic missiles tests targeting the Pacific. I don't doubt that the guy is absolutely an absolute nutcase and that he doesn't talk this way. I don't doubt that a bit. Now, do I doubt that he has the nuclear capabilities? It's hard to tell. I mean, that is such a secretive uh, dictatorship. It's hard to know. It's really hard to know. Now, I don't believe all the warmongers. And John McCain being one of them. He's an absolute warmonger, and he continually is on. What are these guys doing? What are these people in Congress? And let's you guys help me out. Maybe let's get a petition created. And congressional leaders and Senate leaders shouldn't have any business being on TV. Unless the president approves it. I mean, get your work done, Congress. Get your work done, Senate, and leave the public comments up to President Trump and his staff. Okay. And get your work done. Anyway, so in a series of tweets, President Donald Trump threatened to halt all trade with countries. Okay, so we read most of that, guys. And I'm going to go right to our weather, my friends. Today we'll start in northeastern Illinois. So here we go. We have 63 degrees currently in northeastern Illinois. Feels like 63, high 66, low 56. You currently have lots of rain on the radar, and you have lightning 9 miles close to you. Within 9 miles of you. Winds west southwest 11 mile an hour. Average west southwest 11 mile an hour. And then we'll jump right over to Houston. Houston, we have liftoff. What's that? Anyway, so Houston, Texas is currently at 87. Feels like 94. High 88, low 73. Currently no rain on the radar. There's an air quality alert for you in Houston. Thunderstorm probability for next 3 hours. As if Houston needs any more freaking rain. Let's pray that goes somewhere else for them. They don't need any more rain at this point. Do you think? I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. I don't think Houston needs any more rain for probably a good 3 months or better. I don't think just because it's that hot today that they're going to need any rain when they're trying to deal with what's already there. So then we'll jump right over to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you're in that area, currently 83, feels like 87, high. Looks like high of 84, low of 66. No lightning nearby at 477 miles, close to strike. And so we'll jump right over here to Claxton, Georgia. Claxton, Georgia, current temp is 86, feels like 94, high of 90. Again, if you're in an area with a high heat index, please, please, please stay well hydrated, okay? You have a current temp of 86 in Claxton, Georgia. Feels like 94, high of 90, low of 66. No wind currently on the radar. Closest lightning strike is 381 miles away. Nothing to worry about there. And we'll jump right over here to Naples, Florida. If you live in that area, Naples, Florida, my friends. Current temp 87 degrees. Feels like 99. Woo, baby, those guys have a hot one. They got a hot one. High 90, low 75. Closest lightning strike is 102 miles away. No worries there. Partly cloudy conditions. Current wind is at 6 mile an hour, northeast 6 mile an hour, average northeast 6 mile an hour. And we'll go right up to, if you live in the Eastern Shore, Sherwood, Maryland, Eastern Maryland area, current temp is 79, feels like 79, high 80, low of 59. No rain on the radar. Closest lightning strike to you is 519 miles away. Wind is north at 5 mile an hour, which is not too bad. South-southeast. Okay, so that said north at the top. Okay. No, I'm sorry. That's south-southeast. My bad. Okay, so current wind is south-southeast 7 mile an hour. Gust, south-southeast 10 mile an hour. Average south-southeast 5 mile an hour. Anyway, so we'll go is right up here to, let's do Traverse City, Michigan. If you live in the Grand Traverse area, current temp is 64, feels like 64, high 74, low 54. Currently, there is some rain on the radar, and lightning is 1.3 miles. It's the closest strike. Current winds north at 9 miles an hour. And so, current north-northwest, 9 miles an hour. Gusts, none. Average, north-northwest, 9 miles an hour. Anyway, my friends, that'll be it for today. Please look for a new episode for tomorrow, and that'll be on much earlier. And I also want to remind you, I'm going to do some channel renovating within the next month. And you can look for Good Morning USA as its own channel eventually. I'm hoping to be all done with that by the end of November, maybe early December at this point. Again, I'm doing this all on my own. I'm one man. I do all the editing. I do all of it. So if you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Please slap that like button. And boy, I sure would appreciate you subscribing and sharing these videos out, man. Anyway, to all my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. And to the new subscriber, I know I have at least one new subscriber. I appreciate you subscribing. And want to let you know, I just appreciate what you do for me. You guys all have a great day. This is Mr. Nick. I'm out for Good Morning USA. Have a great day, guys. Happy Labor Day. Peace.